Hey everyone, clients, friends, and random people that see me on the internet. It's Howard the Condo Man here, owner of Condoman Realty, my real estate brokerage for 15 years, and owner of Condoman Developments, where I'm currently building 507 Kingston, and I have just started building 1249 Queen Street East. So, what is this video about? It's about the state of the current Toronto market, what's going on, why is it a little bit slower, what's going to happen in the short term, and what's going to happen in the long term. Let me start by clarifying more about where we're at. So currently there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Obviously, they've just hiked interest rates here, and there's going to be another interest rate hike coming up, and that instills fear into people. Perception is the number one thing these days that drives the stock market, that drives a little bit the real estate market. The media has a lot of control over what happens, and people believe however it's spun. So right now it's spun as, oh my God, there's all these interest rate hikes. No one's going to be able to afford their homes. Oh my God. So you're seeing a drop in demand. Everything is demand and supply based. Every market at a basic level is simply how much people want to buy something, how much supply there is of something, and at what price point demand meets supply. So let me focus a little bit more specifically now. Not every market is the same. The Toronto market is different than the suburb market. The condo market is different than the housing market. So let me go one category at a time. And it's very important that when you look at the media, you analyze what they're actually talking about, what they're actually saying. Are they talking about Toronto? Are they talking about Mississauga? Are they talking about Canada? When they're talking about interest rate hikes, are they just saying the interest rate has gone up and as a result they feel that people will have, will buy less? They feel that prices will drop. Or are they saying there's actually been a drop? So let's start first with the city of Toronto. Just so you know, I am a specialist in Toronto. I consider Toronto to be basically from Etobicoke. I do a lot of business in Etobicoke, all the way until the beaches on the east end. I really don't go past those boundaries much at all. I also sell mainly condos, 75% condos, 25% houses. So there is. I certainly have been dealing with more and more houses as people have matured and moved on. And actually, I do a fair bit of Mississauga. So those are my boundaries, but I really am an expert in that core area of Toronto. So let's start with that. Toronto. First of all, condos. Condos differ in various price ranges. As you go over $1 million, there has definitely been a small drop in price. We used to have multiple offers on everything at $1 million. We have not been getting that, and on average, the prices have dropped about, I would say, 40 grand in that price range. As you go to the lower price ranges, so 800 or less, demand has definitely continued to be stronger than supply, and we're still seeing multiple offers, and we're still seeing a slight increase in price or maintenance. In the housing market, so just houses in those areas, we're definitely seeing less offers. We're definitely seeing less multiple offers, and it's kind of flat. I'm not seeing a big decrease, but you had a few anomalies that would sell for much, much more than the previous houses. We're seeing less of that because there's not that frantic panic on offer date when there is an offer date anymore. In the suburbs, it's a little bit of a different situation. The suburbs had a bigger increase during COVID, probably too big, and they're starting to correct a little bit right now. So you're seeing a much bigger decline in the suburbs. Also, and this is my own theory, but it's probably right. In the suburbs, people tend to be families with kids, and they tend to be much, much more risk averse than what you would see in the city. People don't have as investment properties as much. It's their place to live, and as soon as there's any bad news, they react much more harshly, or they're much more reactive to what happens. So that also changes how demand drops. Demand might drop 5 times in the suburbs, whereas downtown it might drop a very small percentage. Not only that, when you get to lower price ranges, it's more affordable for people with interest rate hikes, or they may feel it's more affordable, so that also increases demand in those lower price ranges. So that's basically what I'm seeing in a nutshell right now. Downtown, in the higher price range, yes, I'm seeing a bit of a drop in price, but in the lower price range, I'm not. I'm definitely seeing less multiple offers, so it's going to be not the case for a little bit. And then the suburbs, there's been a drop. So some places are sitting on the market, some places are not selling. Offer dates are going to be gone shortly. Excuse me. Okay, so what do I see in what I'm just going to call the short term? Because the long term is impossible to predict. But what I call the next 3, 6 months, 1 year, maybe 2 years, but it's very hard to predict beyond that 3, 6, 1 year mark, maybe 1 year mark. First of all, in the past, anytime that there's been an interest rate hike or an interest rate change, yes, there's been a little bit of panic. However, the banks have the right to increase or decrease their own mortgage rates from the Bank of Canada rate however they choose. So let's say that there's a real drop in demand and one bank is not getting enough mortgages. It happens all the time that one will get a variable discount from prime, which is, let's say, a point less than prime. And then the other banks will follow with their own discounting on their own mortgage rates. So just because the Bank of Canada rate is higher doesn't mean that your mortgage rate is going to be higher by the same amount. And that can balance out. So I would expect that after the second interest rate hike, if there's still a drop in demand, that at least one bank is going to give a discount from prime in some form, whether it's the fixed, the variable, the 3 year, the 2 year, and you're still going to see a reasonably good interest rate compared to before. So that's the first thing that usually corrects demand in the market. The second and more important thing, Toronto demand is real. People are moving here to live. Even in this war, we opened our doors. More Ukrainians, I believe, will have moved to Canada and to Toronto specifically than for sure the United States. It's just easier for them. That just on as of its own is going to increase the demand to live here. Not only that, people are always moving from the suburbs to downtown because traffic is terrible. Kids don't want to live with their parents anymore. Demand is a real thing here. There are still jobs. Our economy has not slowed. Toronto is still one of the best cities to grow in, I think, in North America and probably even the world to some extent. And that demand is going to continue. It's not going anywhere. Things are still moving in a positive direction in this city in particular. That's going to ultimately drive our prices higher, whether the interest rates are a point higher or whether the bank discounts 2 points from prime. Demand is still higher than what supply is here. So I don't think that anyone needs to be in any kind of real panic. If you're in the suburbs, you should probably sell right now because those prices will continue to decline. And there is an appetite right now for pre-construction, just as an aside, as I'm developing and I have some more product to sell, because there's almost no supply of pre-construction right now in the market at all. In particular for investors, there's little to nothing. So even if demand is lower and appetite is lower, supply is at its lowest point that I can remember in pre-construction. So it is a great time to be selling pre-construction. And depending on how demand reacts, it could even be a good time to buy. I think that's yet to be seen, but it seems like a better time to sell pre-construction. Anyhow, that's the end of my little video. By the way, this is the first video I've done instead of a newsletter. I want to see how it goes. I enjoy this process a little bit more. Please send me your feedback by email. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you want to see more. Even let me know about my speaking quality. I drink coffee, so I don't say as much. This was fun, and have a great day. Cheers.